What's up, y'all? My name is Aaron Sawyer,
And I'm Matt Michaels.
and this is the Refresh Cast. What are we talking about today, bro?
So today we're going to talk about alcohol.
Ooh, the spirit. Now, I think we want to go into the physical consequences of alcohol first. So, just want to open the floor up and.
Well, when we drink alcohol, it essentially is a poison. That's why it creates the effects that it has that we like on it. But it does that because it's toxic to us. So, it's been shown that it shrinks the brain, so the more that you drink, the more it shrinks the brain. It impacts its ability to think clearly and create new neural pathways. Obviously, its effect on the liver, which the liver does, you are living, it's not just a detoxification organ, but it also is a chemical manufacturing plant that takes primary nutrients and creates secondary nutrients. So as you overburden that liver with toxins, it's no longer able to create those secondary nutrients from those primary nutrients. So you're disrupting your body's ability to even produce specific nutrients that you need and things like that.
Okay, so you said it, like, whenever you drink alcohol, it disrupts your ability to create secondary nutrients from primary nutrients?
Correct.
For how long? Like, so you drink something and then it's it fucks with your nutrients?
Yeah, think of it as over time. The more that you do it, the more it impacts that. So think of it more as the overall toxic burden. So we're already coming in contact with 80,000 different toxic chemicals that were just introduced within the last 100 years. And then on top of that, we're drinking alcohol that is just a toxin to the liver as well. So you're just inhibiting your body's ability to work correctly. So you're just adding more stress to the already stressed body because of our current lifestyle.
Sometimes people make drinking look fun. Like, I see somebody drinking, like, wow, they're having a great time. And then I'm also like, because of the work that I've been doing with you, I'm like, does their liver not hurt? Like, I'd be thinking about people's organs, bro, and I'm like, how do they feel whenever they wake up in the morning? Like, are they stiff? How gnarly does it feel inside?
Man, for me, whenever I was still drinking, I'd already started this like health journey, and I quit drinking for a while, and then I started again, and just on the weekends, and not like binge drinking or anything like that. But when I would wake up the next day, definitely inflammation in my body, the pain, my gallbladder would be impacted. You could feel that pressure in the upper right side of the abdomen. And that's just normal for a lot of people. So they don't really make that connection that it is the liver or the gallbladder that's being impacted. But I think the biggest thing for me was when I would wake up in the morning and just have this impending doom and anxiety all the time. And I thought, well, I'm just a really anxious person, but it was directly tied with me drinking the night before. And you kind of think about it from this perspective of you have to feel your emotions to get rid of them, right? You got to feel it to heal it. And if you're always numbing your emotions with alcohol, then you're not going to actually process those emotions. You're just going to suppress them. And you can only suppress for so long, it's going to have to come out, right? So it's about that balance. If you live this life of being high or drunk all the time, well, then you're going to experience these lows that come with it because it's got to balance itself out,
Yeah. And like, do you think that leads to, because how you're saying it's got to come out eventually, do you think that leads to like violent outbursts or like irrational behavior sometimes whenever it comes
Totally,
to...
man. Well, when we drink, it destroys the gut, right? It causes leaky gut and things like that. And most of our feel-good neurotransmitters, such as dopamine, serotonin, they're produced in the gut. So if you destroy your gut, then you're not able to produce those feel-good neurotransmitters the way you were designed. Or the fact that whenever you drink, you raise your levels of GABA. And GABA is the neurotransmitter that eats excess adrenaline in the body, or anxiety, essentially. So if you're artificially raising your GABA through drinking, well, then you're going to have an imbalance of GABA when you're not drinking. So you're going to have higher levels of anxiety.
Dude. This is trippy. This is the first question, and I feel like I've already learned a lot. Like, why? Okay, so, like, whenever I was younger, like 17, 18, 19, I didn't really feel it as much.
Totally.
Like, I don't know why, like, what are kind of the long-term consequences? Is it just like a compounding effect of toxins, and you just start to feel it, like your body's just less able to process? Because, like, I think you kind of wake up feeling numb. You might smoke some weed or something and feel like you're leveled out. And you're like, oh, this is regular, like you're saying. Like,
Right,
oh,
right.
you don't even feel the pain because you're just constantly in a state of chronic pain. You don't even realize.
Same thing with the emotional. If you're always anxious, you're always depressed, you're not going to notice the impact that it has on you after you drink.
Dude, that's crazy. So it messes up your gut and it shrinks your brain. Oh, could it be? Could it be? It causes leaky gut, shrinks your brain, and kills your liver's ability to process secondary nutrients. So damn, how do you detox from that? What does that detox process look like? We got how do you detox from stuff like that, and what does that look like? How long does it take to actually heal your liver? What was your experience?
Well, the liver is actually one of the fastest regenerating organs, which is the good news. It's designed to regenerate very quickly, but it is the compound effect of continuously adding in the toxins. So the number one way to detox from alcohol is to abstain from drinking alcohol, obviously, right? Just like all things. So if you want to detox the body in general, you need to abstain from the toxins that are causing the problem in the first place. So abstaining from using toxic chemicals in your personal hygiene products or cleaning supplies, abstaining from alcohol, abstaining from fake processed foods. It's all about abstinence more than anything. And then obviously there's certain herbs that can be used to help with the liver. Milk thistle, dandelion, those are going to be really great. Milk thistle actually helps to regenerate new cell growth within the liver. So it is designed to heal, but the first step is always abstinence.
Drop the tequila, get the milk thistle tea, bro.
Yeah. And it's actually crazy. It's not even the alcohol that causes most of the problems for the body. It's the chemical process in which the body breaks down alcohol that creates toxic byproducts that actually hinder the body and hurt it the most.
Man, and it's one of those things, it's an addiction for a lot of people. So they get that flush in their body, I need to drink.
Totally.
What did you replace it with whenever you decided to fully stop drinking?
So when I first quit drinking all drugs and alcohol, I replaced it with working out. I got really addicted to weightlifting, weight training, bodybuilding, that kind of stuff. And actually that became a huge problem for me too.
We'll have an episode on that.
Yeah, and that led to me taking all these pro hormones and products to get bigger and still just numbing the emotional state, right? Doing anything to avoid the emotional side. And I think that's the biggest problem with alcohol is usually we're using it to suppress our real feelings, right? We want to go out and have a good time, so we have to suppress all of the insecurities and the things that make us feel down.
Yeah, I would, and let's talk a little bit about how society glorifies it or pushes it as a culture. You see in the rap industry, every, famous rapper at the top of the game has their own vodka. Yeah, Nas has his Hennessy, 50 Cent doesn't even drink and he's selling cognac to people. It's Diddy, the famous human sex trafficker has his Ciroc brand, and I feel like there's such a huge monetary incentive behind it to keep people drinking alcohol. What are some of the societal pressures and consequences?
Well, I think that society pushes alcohol so much because of the negative impact it has on us physically and spiritually. And so the more that we are in a weakened state, the more that we're in a state of anxiety and fear, the easier we are to control. So I think looking at it from the physical, but also looking at it from the metaphysical and the impacts that it has on us spiritually. And if you look at alcohol, it's the most used drug for satanic ritual abuse because of how it opens you up to those dark spirits. It's this lower vibration. And so you're drinking these spirits and it lowers your vibration, which attracts other low vibrational entities or energies. And so the more that they can get us all into that place, the easier we are to control, the more down we're going to be. And obviously we don't make the best decisions when we've been drinking typically. And we don't feel good typically, which is what leads us to drink in the first place.
Yeah, I would always, I knew, alcoholism runs in my family, so I knew I didn't ever want to hit the bottle that hard, but I was in a fraternity in the first 2 years of college and, partied a lot towards the end of high school. And it definitely like just made me sad. Like I was drinking, I was like, this isn't fun. Like I would rather just smoke some weed and write some music, you know, and that became a chronic abuse as well. I'm wondering, bro, so there's like allegedly like 6 different types of alcohol. So, and you know, they call alcohol spirits. Like, do you think that means that there's like different types of spirit? Like, because when you drink Hennessy, you're gonna start feeling a certain way. When you drink tequila, you're gonna behave a certain way. When you drink rum, you're gonna behave a certain way. You drink beer, it's like these shifts in behavior based off the type of spirit. You ain't drinking wine, you feel a different way. Like,
Totally.
what was your go-to? And what do you think about the metaphysical aspect of like different spirits inhibiting your body?
Yeah, so there are 6 different types of alcohol, which are called spirits. And you know, if you break down the word alcohol, where it actually comes from, it's alcohol, which is the flesh-eating demon.
Algal, yeah. And if you look in astrology, there's algal will be in certain signs at certain times. And you can find out where your algal sign is.
That's interesting. So, and then you have jinn, which is another name for a demonic entity.
The trickster.
Yeah. So I definitely think that there's probably different energies that are associated with these different types of alcohol that you open yourself up to. You know, I was really big into tequila, and then man, I'm trying to remember Jägermeister. You know, the deer. And definitely I've noticed a huge difference in the different types of alcohol that I would consume. But at the end of the day, it was all just about blacking out and releasing myself altogether whenever I drank.
That was crazy because that was incentivized when I was in college too. At Atlanta Kai, they would like the whole culture was built around blacking out, and that was like the cool thing to do. Like, oh, bro, I blacked out last night. I don't remember what I did. I'm like, that's fucking terrifying. Like, one guy ended up like breaking into somebody's, like running through a field away from the cops and breaking into someone's house and like almost got shot. And this is the guy who was like, yeah, I blacked out. I'm like, wow, dude, we should stop blacking out.
Yeah.
And they were like, get him out of here.
Yeah, and I kind of think about that too. Like, so, all right, if you think about herbalism, when you want to extract the medicinal essence from a plant, you soak it in alcohol for over 30 days, and it removes the essence of that plant. So when we drink, is it possible that we are removing our essence by drinking this? And when we drink into such excess, that removes our essence to such an extent that other entities can start to pour in, right? And then take us for a joyride, essentially, right? And that's what blacking out is. Like, you literally become demonically possessed, and you do things that you would never do because you've removed your essence so much through alcohol consumption.
Could it be that alcohol is related to demonic possession? I liked rum back in the day. I would drink like a Long Island iced tea, you know, feel really anxious, overeat, eat something really unhealthy.
Man, isn't that crazy too? Like, I noticed whenever I was in this process of trying to quit alcohol again, and I already quit all the other things, and you wake up in the morning after drinking, and then it's easier to slip into pornography because you've lowered your dopamine. So you're looking for that dopamine. Oh, well, now maybe I will pick up the marijuana again because that'll help with that. And it just opens you up to making more negative choices. Or what do they always tell you to eat? Like really greasy, horrible foods to help with your hangover. And so you're just looking for anything to continue to numb the consequences from numbing in the first place.
The McDonald's breakfast after the tequila bender. It's ridiculous, bro. Like, I would definitely, like, it's almost like the, pardon my language, Cheryl, the refresh time, the fuck it demon. Like, it's just like this energy of like, fuck it. All right, I'll do whatever, you know? And it's like, I think the whole party culture is like, we're not trying to dog anybody for where they're at, because you can feel really good. Whenever someone brings to your awareness that alcohol might not be the best thing for you, people can get super defensive and be like, God damn it, I deserve to enjoy a drink every now and then. Man, Aaron, tell me how to live my life, you know? But like, you think about the party culture, and it's like, I mean, shit, what I saw in college was like the... almost like incentivizing girls to get drunk so you could sleep with them.
Yeah.
You know, like that shit's super sketchy, bro. Like I saw some like just dudes being real weird towards drunk women, or dudes trying to feed them drinks and shit like that. And that's like, not okay. I'm so far removed from that. Even then, I was like, what in the fuck's I doing? That's not how you... What happened to the good old-fashioned romance? You don't just give her a shot of tequila and try to fuck her. Like, that's insane. You know? So, like, that party culture, to me, is something that I'd love to see shifted. There's just such a financial incentive to keep people kind of trapped into that lower vibrational state. And that's like what I learned through ecstatic dance and stuff. Like, you don't have to get fucked up to have a great time and dance and release your inhibitions. Like, man, I remember towards the end of my fraternity career, like, they were like, hey, we're gonna go get blackout. You want to pull up? We're gonna pull up to the bars. We're gonna go to this house party. And I was like, no, I actually got invited to this Latin dance party. Like, I would just start like going to different parties with different people and cultures, because I just didn't want to participate in that anymore. So we're getting metaphysical. Okay, so I want to ask you, like, a little bit more about the detoxing process. Like, what can you expect whenever you're turning a new leaf and whenever you're coming out on the other side of that?
Yeah, well, just like anything, when you first quit something, you're going to have this incessant desire to do it. I think for me, when I gave up alcohol, the biggest thing was like going to the same places and being around the same people. Like, you just can't do both. So part of it is detoxing the places that you go, detoxing the people that you hang out with, and changing your surroundings. For me, is the most important, because if I'm trying to change who I am and what I do, but I keep putting myself around the same people and places, chances are I'm going to fall back into that. You basically are the 5 people you spend most time with, right? Mm-hmm. So if you keep spending your time with those people, you're going to fall back into the same behaviors. So I think that's the most important thing, is detoxing your relationships and the things that you do on a regular basis, places that you go. The next would be, for me, changing your diet to go along with it. So as you remove the alcohol, then you start to remove the other foods that are causing those problems. And that will allow your body to detox naturally the way it was designed. So again, abstinence, it's always most important. And then I think that using specific herbs on top of that, or supplements, to help the detoxification process. I know, like, a lot of the times for people, the hardest part of quitting alcohol is the mental and emotional hit that comes with it, right? Yeah. The depression, the anxiety. Mm-hmm. And then we're looking for other ways to numb that. So one product that I really like is called SAMe. And SAMe is great for people who are just getting off of alcohol, because it increases your natural serotonin production. So you change your diet to help heal your gut. You take SAMe, which increases your serotonin. It's going to make you feel better. And then taking GABA. I mentioned alcohol's effects on the neurotransmitter GABA. So if you've been drinking a lot, then naturally you're going to have a lower state of GABA. So you can actually take GABA and it'll reduce that anxiety from the upswing from quitting the alcohol. So for me, that's what's most important, because physical pain, I can deal with that. The emotional pain is what I've always run from my whole life. So if you can address some of that with some of these types of products like SAMe or GABA, that'll make that transition into doing more of the physical work easier.
Drop your low vibrational drunk friends and get some new friends called SAMe and GABA. That's super cool. Like, I think this is a great resource for people that are looking to make that transition in life, because they might not know the technical aspects of what happens physiologically. Like, I want to dive just a little bit deeper into the neurotransmitters and how it affects the brain cells. Like, is there a way to quantify how many brain cells you're losing when you drink, or is it just like...
I'm sure you can Google it and hear, but it's probably different per person, right?
Yeah, and it depends on how much you're drinking. I used to drink to fit in. Did you ever get like drunk deja vus where I'm like people would have the same exact conversations? Like, that was when I realized, especially after a spiritual awakening and then still trying to drink and stuff, people would have the same exact conversations. I'd see the same exact people at the same exact parties doing the same exact thing. And it was like I was in this time loop. And I was like, bruh, get me out of here. Like, and they were totally unaware that they had the same conversation for the same amount of time. Yeah. It's like being stuck in a bad dream.
One thing about that is their vibration. That is their frequency. That is their cycle. So you just keep reliving that same cycle until you break it. So yeah, the same conversations, the same things that you do, the same lifestyle. I mean, it's interesting to look back at some of my friends from my past, and the ones that are still alive are still, a lot of them are living the same kind of life still, just doing the same things. They're in the same place, and I think that that's one of the biggest problems with alcohol is it keeps you where you're at. You can't progress. You can't move forward. You're staying stuck in this lower vibrational field constantly. And so I think it's really important that, we just change the patterns. And the first way to change that pattern is just by stop drinking in the first place.
Dude, I think I got like two things I want to touch on. First is a lot of the economy is based around alcohol and alcohol consumption. Like my homies owns a bar, and on one hand you want to see your homie have a successful business, but it's not in alignment with spirit to be feeding people spirits, so
But it is the freedom of choice. Right?
it is
And take away that freedom of choice is probably the biggest problem that we could have.
Yeah, like the prohibition didn't work, but I think that they did the prohibition so people stopped making their own gasoline and
right. Has nothing to do with them not wanting them to drink.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and what about the correlation between alcohol abuse and domestic abuse?
Man. Well, again, like if you're lowering your vibration to such an extent that these lower vibrational energies can come in, well, then they're going to do whatever they want to do with that physical body, which is inflict more harm on people. Like that's what lower vibrational energies feed off of, the traumas and the pains of other people. So you're just like feeding the pain body the more that you drink or you take part in any of these low vibrational practices that are keeping you stuck in our primal states,
Yeah. Well, I would like to see people just high vibrational bars where everyone's drinking juice.
Man, I think that's coming. I
think so too. I think people are tired of getting drunk and feeling all this toxins in their liver and kidney and shrunken brains. I think people are kind of fed up.
Yeah, and I do think that, this is kind of my conspiratorial mind at work, but it does seem to me that the entire social construct that we have, pushing alcohol, fake food, free sex, all of these things are so detrimental to us, and that is the point. The more that we're stuck in these places of self-harm, the more controllable we are. And the more that we feed into the system that's designed to keep you sick, to put you into the medical institutions that suppress symptoms but still keep you sick. And so you're just a profit margin in a circle all the time.
Could it possibly be that you weren't meant to get drunk and fuck strangers after eating garbage? We'll never know.
It could be.
It's your choice.
Could be.
It's highly possible.
And talking about it from the metaphysical perspective too, we all have this aura, this light aura. And when we take any of these substances to numb our emotions, even marijuana, which I struggle with, you're dimming your light as well. So you're dimming your negative emotions, but that's also dimming your light. And so a lot of times in the spiritual communities, they would say when you drink alcohol, you're actually putting holes in your light body.
Whoa, bro. Don't put no holes in your light body, dude. We deserve better. And how long does it take exactly to detox from alcohol?
I think it just depends how much you've been drinking and for how long. So typically 2 weeks is the amount of time that you want to detox if you've been a constant alcohol consumer for a long time. And it's crazy because alcohol is the most pushed drug, but it's one of the most dangerous as far as coming off of it and detoxing from it. You can die from alcohol withdrawals just alone. And a lot of drugs, that's not true. That you're not going to die from the withdrawals. And that's how much of an impact it has on the nervous system. So it's so important that we learn to regulate our nervous system, which is where the spiritual practice really come into play. And, an act of mindfulness and meditation. When you put yourself in meditation, you have thoughts, feelings, emotions come up, right? That's what we're running from all of the time. And that's why there's always so much resistance to meditation, especially when you first start. But the more that you can sit there and feel what you're feeling and release them, the more that you can regulate your nervous system because you're not storing it in there. Whereas if you drink, you're actually destroying your nervous system. You're burning those nerves.
Man, and if you guys listening, if anyone's struggling with alcohol addiction or trying to get off of alcohol, I definitely encourage you to join our school community. It's free. You can just be in a group of like-minded individuals, people that want to support you. There's a lot of resources out there, not just in detoxification, but a lot of spiritual practices as well. Definitely get involved. Feel free to reach out to us. If you see this episode, you're like, bro, how do I quit drinking? What kind of milk thistle should I get? Where's the GABA at? Like, he is the milk thistle plug. Oh, how he's evolved. You got any final words on the topic, man?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, too, that I do want to offer that school community. It's everything holistic. So it's body, mind, and spirit. So we're giving you tools and resources so that you can heal every area of your life, from what you're consuming to who you're hanging out with, to learning how to detox poor negative patterns in your relationships through poor communication. So we're trying to address everything in one place. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited to get this built up and going.
Yeah, we'll put that link in the description for anybody who's interested. Fresh cast out.